kitchen in the very broken-hearted Patrick Little. Pat.
Thank you. Joe and Chrissy from Whole Foods are here, and I was down about the ex-girlfriend that broke my heart when I was back in high school, but I'm even really more down because we're talking back to school.
Absolutely.
Already?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. My kids are excited to go back to school. I think there's a lot of parents out there are probably pretty excited that their kids are going back to school very soon as well. So what do you got?
Well, today we're going to do a spin on the BLT sandwich, and we're working with a firm tofu, and it's a great substitute and a healthy choice for kids to go back to school with.
Wow, how do you convince kids, though, that instead of the PB&J, go with the tofu?
Well, once you send it in their lunchbox, do they really have a choice?
Probably not, unless they can sell it to one of their classmates.
That's true.
So talk about some of these ingredients.
Well, what we're going to use is our extra firm organic tofu, which is there's 3 different textures to tofu. We're going to use the extra firm, which is easy to work with. We're also going to use avocado as a basic spread instead of mayonnaise, which is definitely a better and healthy choice.
Right.
Cucumbers and lettuce for toppings, and we have a great base that we put on top of the tofu for a marinade, which works really, really well.
All right, a little tricky to prepare, but definitely better for you than some of the snacks that some kids have in their lunch boxes. So look forward to hearing more from both of you about tofu and the experience. I'm looking forward to trying it, I think. Never had it before. You can find the recipe online at foxprovidence.com. Back to you.
Whole Foods. Yes, I am. We're talking tofu this morning, and I want to get to your school lunch program in just a moment. But what I think is really interesting is I'm not a vegetarian, but I do eat a lot of tofu because tofu it's a great nutrient-dense, high-protein source that you can throw in anything, and it starts to people think, oh, I don't know, I don't know about tofu, the flavor, but really it just kind of mimics the taste of whatever you cook it with. So it really enhances, in my opinion, what you've already made. What do you like about tofu?
This particular sandwich is actually great. You mentioned protein. This sandwich is going to have 20 grams of protein, so you're going to send your kid off to school with a lot of protein. And I personally like tofu, the 3 different varieties. If you use extra firm, or if you use the silken, you can make anything from breakfast to dinner.
That silken is really good.
Or pudding.
I would just eat that. The chocolate silken, I would just eat. But do you have to use a tofu press to get it as firm as you want when you're putting it on a sandwich like this?
Absolutely not. What you do is you open your tofu, you can roll it out, put down some paper towels and drain the water out of it.
Easy.
Which really makes it really simple.
Just real quick, tell me a little bit about the school program that you have.
Yep, so this recipe is from our Whole Deal booklet. It comes out every couple months. This is our newest one for back to school. It's got great recipes in there. This recipe, like I said, is in there. And there's actually a contest going on where parents can go on and submit what they're packing for their kids for lunch. They want to see a protein, a whole grain, a fruit, and a veggie. You go on and submit your ideas, share them with other parents, and you can win a $50 gift card at the end.
Oh, that's great. I love that. Especially because I like looking at other people's recipes and thinking, what did they do with these ingredients? So that's great. In just a moment, we're going to make up these sandwiches, but for now, over to you.
All right, I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone here because we're talking about healthy food. I mean, I'm trying to readjust my eating patterns, but Elizabeth walked in and she's like, oh my gosh, I use this on this.
Can we talk about it for 1 second?
I'm like, what is this stuff?
Can we talk about it for 1 second? Sure. Because I really do love this. These liquid amino acids, I just picked this up. I haven't used it yet, but it's a natural soy sauce alternative.
Absolutely.
And what I like about this is that if you're trying to build muscle, aminos are the building block of, proteins and then muscle and that sort of thing. So this is a great thing to have. Another thing that I use a lot is this nutritional yeast, actually this very brand here. And I throw it in all sorts of things because, especially for vegans and vegetarians, I am not a vegan, I'm not a vegetarian, but this is particularly good because there's a high amount of protein. It's like 8 grams of protein, 6 grams of carbs, and a lot of B vitamins, which are just really, really healthy for you. So in any case, I am excited about this. Just a little.
But see, I walk right past that stuff when I'm in the grocery store.
Yeah, well, this is kind of like this. I think what we're making today is a little bit of the foundation for good health, and then you can, step up and add more and more things as you learn them. But tell me a little bit about this because you really like working with tofu.
I do, absolutely. First thing about tofu is that it holds the texture, takes on the flavors of anything that you use very, very well. And what we started with today was a little bit of smoked paprika, a little bit of the Bragg's liquid aminos, a little bit of a tablespoon of the nutritional yeast, and a little bit of water. You mix it together and let the tofu sit in there for about 10 to 15 minutes to marinate. And there you go. It comes out, it holds its texture and color, and the flavor very well. I mean,
You said, but you said to slice it thinly.
yes,
because-
most people are thrown off by the texture of tofu.
Right.
Sometimes it gets a little chewy, could be a little mushy, but if you slice it thin and you bake it at a nice temperature, 350 to 400, it comes out nice and thin and looks pretty crispy, and the texture goes away. It really firms up nice.
So you haven't baked this yet?
No, we have not.
It shows how bad I am. I've seen this before.
I mean, you could eat it this way, but I
can,
prefer
okay.
you don't. I mean, it does get really mushy that way. But what you want to do is just marinate it, put it out on the pan, put it in the oven. You know, 15. The recipe that we're using calls for a half hour, but I say when it's sliced this thin, you really don't want to go a half hour.
Okay.
I would say anywhere 15 to 20 minutes. Turn it after 10 minutes, and it bakes up very well.
And what's the temperature?
Anywhere from 400 to 450 for this style.
Okay.
But tofu is usually cooked at a lower temperature, around 300, 350.
And here's the thing, for people who haven't used tofu before, it's just soybeans.
That's it.
So what you're doing is you're getting, you know, and it's high protein, again, low carb.
Right.
And you can flavor it, like you said, to be anything. All right, so what's the next step?
Well, what you want to do is you take your bread, you want to spread out a little avocado on the bread there.
Nature's butter.
Yes. I actually have some prepared, ready
Very
to go.
nice. Okay. And
Move
look,
this out of the way.
Patrick, you can
Okay,
see
yeah.
the tofu gets a little more firm and a different color after a while.
So I wouldn't have to put, you could just eat it like as an appetizer, just kind of chew on the tofu instead of
You
putting it in a
can.
sandwich.
I mean, you can always get a little dip or something to dip it in if you want.
Now, with young kids, I cannot imagine trying to convince my children to eat what you're making right
Right.
now, because it's so hard to get kids to try stuff.
Well, I think, first of all, the nice thing is these shapes are kind of neat. You can call them anything you want. You can call them toe sticks,
Yep.
you know, or something like that.
just
You
like
give them a
chicken
fun
tenders.
name.
Yeah,
Exactly. They're just
exactly.
like chicken tenders. And
Trust me, Connor, it's chicken.
you know, when I babysit, I ask people if they want color fries, and then we just chop up some orange, green, yellow peppers, and then they just snack on those. But in any case,
All right,
I'm
put
going
the
to put
sandwich
this.
together, yeah, so that goes there.
Is that how this works?
Well, you can do it anyway. That's
Okay.
fine. The tofu can go down, and then you want to put down some lettuce.
Okay, a little. I'm going to steal from below here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
A little lettuce and a little cucumber on top.
Okay, a little lettuce.
I mean, you can always add anything you want to these sandwiches too. That's
Yeah,
healthy
good.
choices. And
I love how
I'm just
this
going to
is.
try one of these
yeah,
things.
you know, sometimes basic, simple is always better. You know, it gives it a little easy to make, but in the long run,
think?
it's outstanding.
It's good. It's got some flavor to it, right?
Oh, a little
All right, all right.
It's a
Listen,
acquired taste.
It's going to take
It's
some
good for
time.
me. I'll keep
Patrick.
eating
That's
it.
right. That's
This is
right.
awesome.
Thank you so much for being here this morning. I really
Absolutely.
appreciate
Thank you very
it.
much.
And where can people submit their
Absolutely.
ideas for the Whole Foods school contest?
Well, you go onto our website, WholeFoods.com, Waterman Street, and it's a great opportunity for moms, dads, whoever does the cooking at home to bring in some ideas. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you're thinking, what you're cooking for your kids on a healthy track, and
Right.
it's so important to start your day off on a healthy way.
Very
so
true.
Awesome.
This is great.
Better with the dip. I will say that I enjoy it better with the dip. Enjoying the weather, a little humid, not